So welcome back, everyone. Well, Medicare season is right around the corner here,
Yeah.
and I have with me Todd Jarman. He is the owner of Jarman Insurance. We just heard your ad. People, everybody needs to listen up, right? Because yes, anybody who's 65 and older right now, it's your season coming up. People who are younger also need to listen to this because, Todd, you can help people with getting a better insurance plan than they are probably already have, because a lot of people, the last time you were on, had mentioned that you had mentioned that a lot of people don't know what they don't know, so they end up doing something that ends up costing them more money than they realize. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about both today, but you know what? October, it's here. It's going to be, it's your time for all the seniors out there, so we're going to talk a little bit about that first. I want to talk a little bit about, Medicare. And first of all, I want to first talk about you. Your service is a free service to everybody out there. So it makes sense to speak to somebody local. It makes sense to speak to somebody who can help you and be there with you and understand what your needs are compared to talking to somebody else who doesn't. You work in all 50 states. I think you're nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about, this year, what's going to be so different in Medicare.
Yeah, so people are already going online and seeing the changes. They're getting their annual notice of changes in the mail, and they're like, wow, what's going on here? And what people are seeing are, higher copays, less benefits. Those are the big things. They're kind of freaking out a little bit about that. So what we're trying to do this season is kind of help those people find the plans that may have increase in benefits, not cut them as much, and try to keep your same type of plan to the next year as much as we can. And Maricopa County and Pinal County and throughout Arizona, it's they're the better counties in the United States, so it's not too bad, but there are some changes.
Listen, anytime there's a change, when it comes to seniors, it's big.
Mm-hmm.
Because seniors don't like change, especially when it comes to their money, right?
Yeah.
And this is important for everybody. Everybody really should be calling someone like you, because first of all, the biggest reason is that if you can save them money in any way, if there's going to be these changes, you won't know until you talk to someone like Todd.
Yeah, you might just think, well, I guess my copay is going up $30. A specialist, I guess that's how it is. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. You don't know what you don't know. And this is the time to shop this year. It's one of the bigger change years that's been the last few years.
So you call him direct. This is a free service to you. You've been doing this for 9 years, and what really makes him different, I think, than anyone else, because you work nationwide, there's a lot of people that live in dual states.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to make sure that you're covered and all that stuff in both areas, so he will make sure of that for you. Also, if you're looking right now, any changes that you might see that you're not happy with, he can help you. You have to start down with just a little consultation, which is free to you, and you get paid by the insurance carriers.
Correct. They don't pay me.
So he does get paid, but it's through them, because a lot of people say, well, that's too good to be true. Well, that's how it works. So you can call him direct. His phone number is 480-255-1076. You can also check him out on his website. It's Jarman, Jarman insurance.com. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about Medicare, and also I want to talk about more than anything too, prescriptions, because that's where they get you, right? That's where it starts to get high. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so prescriptions are important, and this year, due to the Inflation Reduction Act, there's finally a max out of pocket on Part D, which is $2,000 a year. So people might be hearing this and are on Medicare, might be thinking, well, why wouldn't there be a max out of pocket? Well, there never was. If you had some expensive medications, you basically just keep on paying on those drugs. So now there's a max out of pocket, but what people need to understand is not everyone is hitting that $2,000. I mean, prescription drugs for most people are pretty low. So really a small segment of the population, it's going to help out if you have some really expensive new medications this should be something you should be very excited about.
Absolutely.
So,
So they have put a cap on it, is that correct?
A cap.
Finally. So they are learning a little tiny bit, right?
Little bit, little by little.
Little by little. And I think the best thing to do, the only thing is just having that consultation with him. Here's the thing about us seniors is that people's lives, you change, it's almost minute by minute.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the doctor one day and and things might be okay, and not even a few weeks or so months later, guess what? You're on a different medication.
Yeah.
Because it happens a lot. And medications can be so expensive. I think what the best thing that you do is when you sit down with them, you're going to go over everything to find the best plan for them, because they have to lower the cost. That's where they're going to lower the cost.
Yep, exactly. We got to look at a best and worst case scenario. So it's like, hey, yeah, you're healthy right now, but what if you're not? That can change tomorrow. So if that were to change, is this plan going to be what you're going to want to be on in January? You have to be on all year. Those are the kind of things you got to ask yourself to make sure.
And I know people myself, of people who have been very unhappy with their plan. Guess what? This is a time that you get to change. We finally get the chance to have a voice, but you need to make sure you do it correctly. And the best thing is that because this was a free service to you, he's here local, and you can talk to him and make sure that he is here for you from the moment you start to talk. When you start going with these 800 numbers, which a lot of people call them, you ask your friends, you ask your neighbors, what happens?
Well, you basically, I get that call and they say, well, yeah, I talked to someone on the TV or I talked to a neighbor and I'm very unhappy. And it's like, well, I try to make sure you don't make that mistake, and people learn, but luckily where we live, there are a lot of options. There's no reason to be on a plan you're not happy with. There's plenty of other companies that are competitive. And I want you to be on a plan you're happy with.
Absolutely. And also, too, because you call them as 800 numbers, most of them, I think all of them practically, they work with one company.
Most of them, yeah.
And you don't. And
No.
that's the difference right there. You shop around. Go ahead.
Yep, shop around. I work with every single company basically here in the Valley. So if there is a company that's going to help you out, I'm going to put you on that plan if it works for you.
What is the difference between Advantage and Supplement?
So that's the biggest question I get is, hey, do I go with a supplement or go to a Medicare Advantage? Advantage plans are going to be network-based plans. They're going to have co-pays. You're going to have a max out-of-pocket. You're going to have a network. People like them because they give you some free benefits, which are going down this year: dental, vision, hearing. Regular Medicare does not give you routine dental, vision, and hearing. Gym membership, stuff like that. So, and most of those plans are zero cost, so it's very enticing. But you run into an issue where, hey, your doctor's not in the plan, or maybe your hospital network's not in the plan. What do? You probably don't want to change your doctors. You don't want to change your hospital. It can be very stressful for people. So the biggest difference between a supplement and the Advantage, the supplement uses original Medicare, where you can go anywhere Medicare is accepted, and you don't have any co-pays. So you always know, hey, as long as they accept Medicare, I can go there. I pay nothing. I'm always going to see my doctors, any hospital, and that's peace of mind. But it's going to cost you a little bit per month, but you got to decide on what you're more comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people want to have their doctors that they know, especially when you get older, and they get to know you. It's so nice to be able to make sure that you're with the same person that you've been working with for a long time. He's been doing this for 9 years. He works nationwide. This is a free service to you, and it makes sense to call somebody here and not speak to somebody from, Mr. Television Land out there. That phone number to call him direct, it's 480-255-1076. His website is Jarman, Jarman, insurance.com. So there's going to be some differences in Part D as well?
Well, Part D and Medicare Advantage, yeah. We already talked about the $2,000 max out of pocket. The changes to Medicare Advantage, the benefits, people already seen the benefits have been cut on some dental products. But really what we're looking at here is, okay, are your doctors still covered? Are your prescriptions still covered? And if you're seeing these doctors, what plan is going to keep you on those things the least amount of money possible?
Well, it's Medicare season, and it's time for you to be able to
season.
have that, your choice, your voice, to see whether you're on the plan that's right for you. And the only way you're gonna know is by having a free consultation. That's what he does. This is a free service to you. Sit down and find out exactly if the plan that you're on is right. And if it's not, it's time to make that change. The phone number to call direct, it's 480-255-1076. You can check him out on his website, JARMAN insurance.com. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute. Happy?
Ooh, yeah.
Almost through.
Yeah, you're a pro.
Well, so are you. You're being a pro right now.
It's funny because I already know some of these changes, and CMS absolutely will not let you talk to people about it until October 1st.
Oh.
So in my mind, I'm like, make sure, I'm like, don't say anything, but this is not going to air until October. In my mind, I'm trying to, okay, I'm not going to break CMS rules.
Right.
It's just funny. Oh, man. Yeah, hung around.
Well, no, let me put it to you this way. This
Yeah.
is a live show. You are live right now. You understand that, right?
Oh, I thought this was going to be for October 15th.
No, we're doing it for October 15th, but it is live.
Oh,
Okay, so just don't say anything more. Don't worry about
Okay,
anything.
all right, cool. No, I'm good.
Okay.
The way it is. I'm glad you told me that.
So we're going to just talk about the under 65 now. So
Okay.
we can just focus on that now.
Oh, man. I'm just really, I've been rioting, working out, and it's just, need a rest day.
Yeah.
Need a rest day.
Yeah. Look like you're disheveled.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
I wish today was Monday, because I didn't have anything to do Monday, but I had, my son's school was like closing down, and my wife said, we're going to put him.
Well, where does he go to school?
He goes to a private school in Mesa. They're losing their lease, and so my wife's just freaking out.
Well,
My son's smart. He's not getting behind.
but I mean, they're losing. It's a terrible time, for that to happen.
Yeah, beginning of the school year.
But aren't they? I mean, how many? What school? It's a private school,
It's a
right?
private school, yeah. About 20 kids.
Oh, so that's all?
Yeah, it's a
How
small
old is
school.
your son?
He's going to be 9 next month. But I guess like most of the kids didn't apply for ESA, and so they couldn't pay the school. So, yeah. But, yeah. Wives get more stressed out about this.
Well, they're going to have to. I would think that they would be helping people, directing them to where to go.
We got them on an online school, and they're trying to figure out where they're going to go, but it's kind of up in the air right now.
Sure,
Okay.
your son is happy.
But I know, he gets to hang out at home.
So it went that fast, like boom.
Yeah, he's only been in for like 3 weeks.
That's terrible. I can't believe they didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Oh, man.
And maybe I misunderstood, but we were doing this and we're re-airing it in October. Okay. Okay. So welcome back, everyone. Now, okay, people need insurance, and they need insurance no matter what. There's a lot of people that don't have insurance, and people that are under 65. You help people that are either, it doesn't matter what age they are, you help people in getting insurance. And a lot of people will go up online and, they start looking around. What is the one thing that you find that happens with people who are under 65? They go up on the exchange, and what happens then?
Most of the time, they look at the full price of the coverage, and that is not necessarily what they're going to pay. It's going to be based on your income, your household size, gender, where you live. So that price that you may be seeing in the marketplace, it could be a fraction of that. And so what they do is they see that and they're like, well, I can't afford this, and they go uninsured, and they just forget about it. So that's a big thing I see a lot.
Yeah, I think that's terrible because it's not made very clear, right? Of course not. Why would it be made clear? And what happens is you go up there and you're doing this on your own. They also can call you and you can help them. How does an appointment, when I say, let's say I'm calling you and I say, you know what, I don't have insurance and I know I really need it. I want to go up on the exchange. What do we do?
First thing I'll ask you, what do you expect to make for this year? Just give me an estimate. Then we can get an idea of what's going to cost, what size, what's your household size. Take any prescriptions, you see any doctors. That's going to narrow it down to a set of plans where I say, okay, here's what we got right here. Now, what's coming up? Are you going to be having any surgeries? Are you worried about whatever? We're going to go through that whole needs analysis and figure out exactly what you're going to need and narrow down that plan and get it as cheap as possible.
And people who are pregnant.
That's a big one because there's people kind of expect to pay a lot of money for pregnancy, so we got to look really hard at the plans and see exactly what it's going to cost to have a baby. Some plans will be just pure co-insurance. It's like, hey, you're going to pay 30% of the hospital bill. That could be whatever it could be. A lot of plans will put a specific copay. Hey, it might be $2,000 per day in the hospital. So we got to figure out, okay, are you more comfortable having a copay? Hey, if you're in the hospital 1 or 2 days, here's what you're going to pay. Let's look at that.
So before you even think about doing anything, and I'm talking about something else other than looking up on the exchange right now, you really ought to look into what is it going to cost me to have this baby, because that could be an exorbitant price. Now, obviously, things happen. We know that, but you want to be covered, and you want to be covered correctly. So, and again, each of these different insurance policies, they're all different. They all offer different things. Correct?
A ton of different things, and also we talked about this at a previous episode too. If someone's a 1099, are self-employed, they don't have insurance through their company, and maybe they make a little bit too much money to get a subsidy on the exchange. What's out there for them? Well, there are some plans where they can have coverage as if they had coverage through an employer. Very low copays, very reasonable premiums. One of the plans, just off the top of my head, if you were to get pregnant and have a baby, it costs you $250 for the entire pregnancy.
Wow.
But obviously you can't be pregnant at the time. Got to be, just thinking about it. But we'd really try to head that off and say, hey, if you're thinking about doing this, let's look at these types of plans. Even if it was a little bit more expensive than the exchange, going off exchange on one of these might save you thousands in the long run for that.
His phone number to call, it's 480-255-1076. He's been doing this for 9 years. He works nationwide, and his website is Jarman, Jarman, insurance.com. So, let's say people are the employer, and they want to offer insurance for their employees. Can you help them with that too?
Absolutely. I'll get those calls. Say, hey, I have employees. What's going to cost me to offer insurance? I want to keep employees. I worked with a company that was actually out of state, and their employees were basically going to quit unless they had insurance. So I helped them set up an affordable plan, and they were super happy, and they got to keep those employees. And that's really important, because if you want to keep employees in this day and age, and I'm sure you have people on the show say, hey, I can't get good employees, can't keep them. If you want to keep employees, you want to offer good health insurance.
Yeah.
And that's easy to do. It's just got to shop around.
They're looking for that now. It's all about what can you give me, and you want to make sure that you can do it. You should anyway. I mean, I really think, the way that I look at it is you're helping them. They're helping you. You need to help them a little bit, and they all deserve it. How about if they already have insurance, but maybe they want to look for a lower, price plan or what have you? Can you help them?
Absolutely. So a lot of people may know this, may not know this, but your employer is paying a portion of your health insurance. If that plan costs $1,000 a month, your employer is probably paying 50% of that. Okay, so if they come to me and shop around and say, hey, let's get a better deal, if I can save you $100 a month per employee, you got 20, 30 employees, that's a lot of money per month you can put towards something else. And if you can get better coverage, why wouldn't you do it? But a lot of companies, they kind of just renew, they go through it, and then they just kind of think this is how it is.
Right.
That's not how it's supposed to be. You can shop.
You need to shop.
Yeah.
Honestly, today everybody needs to shop.
Yeah.
Because when you know, and that's something that we don't do. We stay with the same person for years just because, you know, we think we're comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
But you don't, what did we say earlier, and I've said it a lot, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know something, you might just be paying a little bit too much for something that you may not realize you can get for less. And the only way you're going to know it's a free consultation to you is to sit down and talk to them. So, people who are either already a senior and it's your season, or people who are under 65, you can help anybody in the insurance age area.
Anybody.
And
Yeah.
what I really love what you do, not only for for people who live in dual states, because you do that,
Yeah.
but I love the way you sit down and talk to people, let's say, that are planning on having a baby. You
Yeah.
know, this is something where, you know, when I was younger, you didn't have to think about this kind of stuff. But now you really, really do. So let's say you know someone's getting married, give them the phone number.
Yeah.
What a great gift. That's all you have to do is give them a
Yeah.
number.
You might be having a surprise not too long after that, and now it's like, well, how am I going to pay for this?
Mhm.
Well, you got to think about it before.
Right, and that nobody ever thought about that before either. And usually that doesn't happen no matter what.
Yeah.
But you really need to think about things because it's all about protecting yourself, making sure that you can afford all of this at the same time, especially when it comes to your insurance, your health insurance. If you're an employer out there and you don't have insurance for your employees, you got to do it. You just got to do it today, because if you don't, now you're up against everybody else that is offering insurance for them, and they're going to go there and not work with you. So obviously, the more that you can give, the better and your employees are going to appreciate you.
100%.
If you already have insurance, it is a good idea to talk to him, because it's a free service to you no matter what, and find out, can he get you a better deal? Because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
In all insurance, it seems like it. What are your
Yeah.
final words for everybody out there today?
I would say, if we're still on the employee insurance side of it, you know, it really costs nothing to see if you can get a better deal. If you bring me a census and give you a quote, if I can't save you money and get better insurance for your employees, what do? Well, you just stay with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can do that, it's going to be better in both ways.
It only makes sense to
Yeah.
have that consultation with you.
Yeah.
I think anybody, and don't try and do it, I say this all the time, especially we were talking about seniors earlier
Mhm.
today. Don't call people, even on television, no matter what your ads that you're seeing,
Yeah.
don't call them. Call somebody like you, your insurance broker, and explain to them what makes that different.
Yep. So, I mean, I'm local. Like, if you have questions, I've had clients say, "Hey, I have questions on a bill." Hey, I'll come by and we'll explain it. Do that. You can't do that with someone over the phone, obviously. But being as a broker, I'm not tied to one or two companies. I want to make sure you are on the best plan, get the best benefits, the lowest co-pays, keep your doctors, whatever plan it may be. I'll put you on that plan and make sure you're happy.
The bottom line is it's a free service to you, and you should be making sure that you have the best plan for you, whether you are over 65 or under 65.
Diaper to diaper.
Diaper to diaper, that's what he says. So again, you can call him direct. This is a free service to you. His phone number is 480-255-1076. Check him out on his website. It's Jarman, Jarman, insurance.com.